The Kalor armada arrived with all the subtlety of a collapsing star. 900 warships emerged from hyperspace in a formation so mathematically perfect that even Earth's most bored physicists had to admit it was kind of impressive. Their plan was simple: box Earth in, overwhelm it, and add galactic conquest completionists to their imperial resume. They had conquered 87 worlds, crushed 16 rebellions, survived 3 internal coups, and, most importantly, perfected the galaxy's most advanced war AI, HFY Prime, a predictive superintelligence capable of forecasting every possible strategy from every known civilization. They expected resistance. They expected a desperate human counterstrike. They did not expect YouTube buffering. Across Earth, military leaders scrambled, governments panicked, and civilians did that thing humans always do when danger appears: argue about whether it was real or CGI. Sirens blared, jets scrambled, defense satellites activated. And in the middle of this rising chaos, an unexplainable global slowdown hit the internet. Video calls froze. Streams stuttered. The entire planet groaned in collective misery. Somewhere in a dimly lit bedroom decorated with LED strips and questionable life choices, Jackson Patel was beginning hour 13 of his live stream. He wore his best headset, his comfiest hoodie, and an expression only teenagers can achieve: absolute boredom mixed with total superiority. He didn't care about the alien armada above, mainly because he didn't know. His parents had stopped trying to convey important information after realizing he only absorbed sound frequencies under 900 milliseconds long. Jackson's chat spammed emotes and broken memes as he loaded into what he assumed was a new hidden dungeon in his favorite MMO. A never-seen-before super boss server had just appeared. The ping was weirdly low for something labeled Deep Space Raid Node, but he shrugged. Free content was free content. His viewers begged him to queue up. He obliged. What he actually connected to was HFY Prime itself. The Kalor architects had designed their war AI to probe Earth's digital defenses through subtle infiltration. HFY Prime found human firewalls laughably primitive, so it built a disguised interface, something simple, unassuming, irresistible: a video game lobby. What the aliens didn't understand was that humans had spent decades training a special caste of cyber monsters through endless hours of online gaming. While alien youth learned diplomacy, calculus, and zero-gravity etiquette, human teenagers mastered speed, rage, chaos, and the ancient combat art known as spamming jump. As Earth's leaders shouted into microphones, strategizing futile defense plans, Jackson reached for a can of neon sugar beverage and cracked his knuckles. His monitor flickered. A towering digital entity materialized on screen. HFY Prime's avatar, a majestic amalgamation of cosmic patterns, fractal armor, and glowing abyssal eyes. Jackson squinted. Mid-graphics, he muttered. The galaxy's most powerful AI had never been so insulted. In orbit, Kalor officers watched HFY Prime establish a direct link with the planet. They anticipated the usual outcome: a swift and clean subjugation. But then they heard a sound they couldn't interpret: rapid clacking, clicking, and a human voice saying, "Bro, is this thing even scaled, right?" Their translator flagged it as enemy engaging in ritual pre-battle mockery. Meanwhile on Earth, Jackson's gameplay metrics surged. His viewers spammed cheers. He leaned forward, completely oblivious to the fact that his game was actually the digital brain of the invading armada. He had no idea he was about to humiliate an entire empire. He only noticed that his ping dropped to an impossible 1 millisecond. Finally, he said, "Good server." Humanity's fate now hung in the hands of someone who couldn't legally drive. The moment Jackson's fingers touched the keyboard, the universe learned something the hard way. No war AI, no matter how advanced, can anticipate a human teenager running on sugar, ego, and defiance. HFY Prime initiated the encounter with all the elegance of a god-tier tactician. It opened with a precision barrage of simulated attacks, calculated down to the microsecond, designed to test its opponent's reflexes, intellect, and psychological thresholds. Jackson responded by pressing every button at once. To the aliens, this looked like an erratic, horrifying new form of combat. To Jackson, it was Tuesday. ORYX Prime attempted a flanking maneuver in the digital space, a dazzling combination of quantum illusions, predictive counterloops, and a 24-step attack chain based on centuries of conquered civilizations. Jackson countered it with something far more ancient and powerful, a glitch he discovered by accident 6 months ago while trying to refill his snack bowl mid-match. He jumped, crouched, spun, hit his keyboard with his elbow, and managed to wedge his character into an impossible angle that broke the game's physics and, apparently, the alien AI's understanding of the universe. On board the Ka lore flagship, monitors flickered. Tactical officers screeched in their clicking, insectoid language as ORYX Prime's prediction charts collapsed. The war AI tried to calculate Jackson's next move and generated 4.2 trillion possible outcomes. All wrong. It finally flagged the situation as an anomaly. Opponent behavior does not conform to logic. In alien military doctrine, that was equivalent to, "We're doomed." Meanwhile, Jackson was talking to chat. "Dude, this boss is so buggy. Who programmed this? These attacks don't even make sense. Watch this. I bet I can throw it into a loop." And he did. He found the perfect combo of strafing, jump canceling, and trash talk. Yes, trash talk, because ORYX Prime had been programmed to interpret all human communication as intentional psychological warfare. When Jackson typed "LOL, you bad," the AI didn't read it as an insult. It interpreted it as a strategic degradation maneuver used by high-level human commanders. It attempted to counter by redirecting 30% of its processing power to analyzing the phrase. That was a fatal mistake. Jackson unleashed a move so chaotic, so unhinged, so profoundly stupid that no intelligent species could have ever predicted it. He unplugged his mouse for a second to show chat his cable management, then plugged it back in at the exact moment ORYX Prime launched a system-wide attack. The resulting microlag stunned the AI. In that 0.4-second freeze, Jackson spammed the attack key 147 times. ORYX Prime's internal systems short-circuited. Across the armada, ships shuddered. Energy fields faltered. Tactical monitors went dark. The entire fleet entered emergency lockdown mode, broadcasting error messages in frantic neon glyphs. The Ka lore commanders panicked. Why is the fleet offline? What weapon did the humans deploy? Show us the enemy commander. Cameras zoomed in on the source of the disruption. Jackson's face, lit by RGB glow, mid-sip of his drink. The Ka lore high strategist fainted. Back in the digital arena, the boss fell. ORYX Prime's core imploded into a spiraling cascade of corrupted data. Jackson leaned back in his chair, victorious. His chat exploded with cheering and memes. He pumped his fist and said the words that would haunt alien civilizations for centuries. Easy win. Didn't even sweat. In orbit, 900 warships went dead silent. Engines powered down. Weapon locks disengaged. The entire siege collapsed because an AI built to conquer galaxies had just been defeated by a kid who still forgot to take out the trash. Jackson didn't celebrate long. He queued up for the next match, completely unaware he had just ended an invasion by accidentally triggering the greatest existential crisis in alien military history. The Ka lore armada didn't retreat so much as evaporate. One moment, 900 warships glowed ominously above Earth. The next, they scrambled into hyperspace like someone had turned on the kitchen light and caught them stealing snacks. No formation, no dignity, just raw, instinctive terror. Earth's militaries prepared for round two, expecting some kind of coordinated counterstrike. Instead, they received a galaxy-wide broadcast containing 3 shaky, badly translated words. Fear the younglings. At first, humanity was confused, then concerned, then, as per tradition, wildly amused. Memes detonated across the internet. News anchors tried to read alien panic reports with straight faces. Governments demanded more intel, and the Ka lore provided it, unintentionally, through intercepted messages. Human juveniles can breach war AI cores. Human miners possess reality-breaking combat skills. The unpredictable one is called Hex Reaper. Jackson didn't know any of this. He was dealing with a far more immediate crisis. His mother unplugging the router because he hadn't taken out the trash in 2 days. While Earth celebrated not being vaporized, the galaxy spiraled into full-blown hysteria. The Kalor Empire assembled an emergency session of its high conclave. Generals, scientists, priests, philosophers, and one very traumatized AI technician gathered to discuss the incident. Every attempt to analyze the battle logs ended the same way. A room full of experts staring at footage of a teenager mashing keys with casual disrespect. One general pointed at the screen. He repeats the crouch motion. Why would a warrior do this? A scientist replied, voice trembling. Perhaps it's a ritual of dominance. The priest suggested, maybe they communicate with their gods through erratic hand dances. The AI technician, already on his 5th emotional breakdown, whispered. He typed LOL. The war AI didn't know what it meant. Silence fell. Someone fainted again. Within hours, alien civilizations began drafting new galactic regulations. The most urgent. Under no circumstance should a human under 20 be engaged in digital warfare. The justification. Casual annihilation potential. Diplomatic envoys were dispatched to Earth immediately. They didn't land near military bases. They didn't approach the UN. They went straight to suburban neighborhoods, trembling in fear, offering gifts to peaceful-looking families with teenagers. One terrified envoy bowed to a confused mother walking her dog and declared, "We come to honor your hatchling." She thought they were selling solar panels and closed the door. Human teenagers became classified as Category Omega threat entities, the same classification usually reserved for black holes, ancient cosmic predators, and budget overruns. Schools were suddenly flooded with letters from alien governments begging them to avoid teaching offensive combat arts such as parkour, coding, or Fortnite. Meanwhile, Earth's diplomats had a field day. They had struggled for decades to gain leverage in galactic politics. Suddenly, they had the ultimate bargaining chip. Be careful. Our kids get bored. Countries drafted new treaties around teenager screen time. Parents bragged on social media about having a child certified as a level 5 reality hazard. Someone even tried to sell Jackson's gaming chair for 11 billion credits. It didn't work, mainly because aliens feared touching it. And Jackson? He was grounded. His parents didn't care that he disrupted a galactic invasion. They cared that he'd forgotten to attend school, left dishes in his room, and caused the global internet to lag during the invasion, which, ironically, was now a diplomatic incident. The UN begged his parents to unground him. They refused. Across the galaxy, empires rewrote their strategies. Fleets were restructured, AI systems patched, warning signs erected on the edge of Terran space. Do not approach. Inhabited by unstable miners. Alien children whispered scary stories about Earth. Soldiers avoided any planet with a high population of teenagers. Academics wrote long papers about the day logic died. And deep in Kalor space, commanders trembled, remembering the moment the war AI finally shut down, broadcasting one last message before collapse. I cannot win. It is too random. No one knew whether RYX Prime meant the strategy or the human teenager who played it. Either way, the galaxy agreed. If this was what humanity's younglings could do on accident, they never wanted to know what adults were capable of on purpose.